AFC wildcard game.
And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. They'll run here with Raheem Mostert.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Not a lot of running room there. Not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a dump off here complete. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. First catch of this wild card game for a 1,000-yard receiver in the regular season. He's got a first down, too.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert.
And some room to maneuver. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
So it looks like they stopped some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. And the Ravens are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive.
And certainly, look, you're on the road in the playoffs. That is a suboptimal start, opening drive INT.
And, partner, sometimes I wonder, do these teams talk about it to such an extent that maybe you almost talk yourself into the turnover when you're trying to avoid it?
Yeah, maybe they get a little too worried about keeping the football, and then you give it to the other team right off the bat. And, look, we said it, on the road, this is just a terrible, terrible start for them.
It is, and now they've got to rely on their defense.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. And I guess we're back to square one. A rocky start here. A turnover followed by a turnover.
Not exactly what we expected going into the game, but I always wonder about the nerves and people starting, the emotions of the game. Sometimes it takes a little while for that to play out and for them to settle in. Let's hope that that's taken care of now.
Now a throw complete to his fullback out of the backfield.
And they'll work this down inside the 30.
Hold on a second. Was that the fullback? That was the fullback. Who says it? The slot receivers are the only guys who can catch the football and get big yardage after the catch. Really nice job there, showing good hands and an ability to get upfield.
Up the middle they go with Mostert. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 44 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Here's Tua.
It's a slant to Hill. And the Dolphins are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a first and goal.
So first and goal and an opportunity for our first points in this wild card game.
Here's Mostert.
And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
Ahmed will take this in for the Dolphin touchdown.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
Pulls it in at the 13. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37.
Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Now a toss left side for Dobbins.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front, so when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Odafe Owe from that outside linebacker spot gets in there. It's a loss of 9.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Looking to pass. Tua. And going deep for Hill. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Ravens are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
Well, that'll be complete to Dobbins. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Working with a 2nd and 3. Jackson going to throw quickly here, complete. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Channing Tindall, the one who got through to drop him. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
Good running right there. And this is a man who was a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
Right back to Dobbins on 1st. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Jackson. And this one is incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Jackson. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. Tucker's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, still some climbing left to do to get back to even, but forcing a turnover and getting the field goal there, that's a small step toward erasing the early deficit.
Absolutely. That interception field goal, that's the beginning of what they hope will be several steps towards erasing that deficit and building a lead of their own by the time this game is over.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So Frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Watch 18. 18's the mark.
They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Watch 18. 18's the mark.
Tua going to throw. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Watch 18. 18's the mark.
Play action. Now it's Tua. Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, the great coach said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
18's the mark.
Tua sets up to pass it. Looking deep downfield. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
On 4th down, Matt Ariza sent on to punt.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Now Jackson back into his end zone. He gets this underneath to Dobbins. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. So a little more space to operate now. 1st and 10 from right around the 12. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson.
Over the middle, he gets it to Collins.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
2nd quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
2nd and 2.
They go back to the ground with Dobbins. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they will finally haul him down at the Dolphins' 35-yard line. 53 yards rushing for him in his first half, as he has certainly carried over his regular season success into the playoffs. Jackson on first down. That is caught. Rashad Bateman. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Rashad Bateman, 35 yards. And the Ravens have taken the lead. Tucker with the extra point. And the lead is now 10-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Flush to his right. Odafe Oweh. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. And taken at the 46. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive, as it'll begin in enemy territory already. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Jackson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Keon Crossen. And the Dolphins are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. A full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. And the Ravens are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air. And, of course,
oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. Boy, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
And it's a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. A great return there of 22 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they'll have time for one play. There's 2 seconds on the clock. Out to his left. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And this is going to be intercepted.
And nothing comes of this last-ditch attempt at points as time will run out on this first half.
So we're at halftime of this AFC wildcard matchup. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, both teams try to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23.
He'll start with a handoff to Dobbins.
And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Open man is Bateman. It's complete.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a 1st down.
They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. And he's across the 45. It'll be 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Jackson.
Throw right side here taken in by Bateman.
And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 31-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory, down at the 31.
Jackson, draw play to Dobbins. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 74 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
Jackson's throw complete there to Bateman. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And the Ravens are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
On 1st and goal, they'll try the option left. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson scoring on the 2-yard keeper. And the Ravens take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive...
Hill diving, and he's got it full extension. What a catch. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Tua. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Tua. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This officially a 55-yard attempt. He's got the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and they will not cut into that 10-point lead. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the 2nd miss in a row.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
Bubba Bolden.
It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins.
And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
One quarter remains for the right to survive round one here in the AFC. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
That good for 22 and a first down. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore.
J.K. Dobbins.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Ravens are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field.
This will be caught. It's Waddle.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line.
A run with Mostert up the middle.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. And the ball smacked dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. On play action, here's Tua.
Tua hit, and the ball is out.
We hear them discuss red zone efficiency a lot, CD, and they almost gave that one up in the red zone. Luckily, they'll have another shot.
And you and I both know that every offensive coordinator, play caller in the league, they take particular delight in their red zone calls because those are the payoff ones. But you can't call a play if your team doesn't have the ball. Got to secure it.
So crisis averted, but now facing 3rd and goal.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa. They'll roll him out right. And he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable fourth quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery. On the move past the 40. Look at the big fella go. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
They'll go again with Dobbins.
And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4.
103 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in the wild card round. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins.
He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1.
They'll run with Dobbins.
And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown.
J.K. Dobbins.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Ravens continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made them pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
Tua looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Tucker now to add the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end.
The Ravens going to move on to another week in these playoffs as we say so long, everybody.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.